I'm Gujan John, and welcome. Trust me on that. Don't take my word for it.
Hi, I'm not going to be reviewing a game today, but I am going to be talking about one of the most popular gaming magazines of the 1990s. It wasn't a printed magazine though, it was something a little bit different. In the late 80s in the UK, you were unlikely to have access to the internet at home, which wouldn't really become widely available until the early 90s. What you probably did have though, was one of these bad boys, a CRT, or cathode ray TV. Those of you who grew up before flat screen TVs will know that CRT monitors did not muck around. These things were big, hefty bad boys. They worked by a cathode ray inside the unit activating phosphorus on the screen. Am I the only one who thinks it's pretty damn cool that you kinda needed to cause a bunch of little explosions just to watch with Mother? Of course, in the early 90s you had your 4 TV channels in the UK and would get a 5th eventually in 1997. But these were the days before the internet. If you'd missed the evening news, where would you be able to get this information? Enter Teletext. This early on-demand service was a frequently updated collection of pages, if you will, accessible right there on your TV in your front room. In 1976, the BBC were the first to launch their C-Facts version. According to Wikipedia, that's a pun on the words C-Facts. It contained about 100 pages back then. Other channels would soon follow suit, and after new TVs started being made to include the encoder needed to show the pages, they'd start to be pretty popular. Your TV remote would come with a teletext button, or at least it would from about 1987 onwards, and pressing it would give you access to a sort of super basic version, if you like, of the World Wide Web, where instead of URLs, you have page numbers, and suddenly you have at your fingertips a wealth of news, weather, sports, and opinion. It was really cool. And when you used to start getting these coloured buttons dubbed fast text keys on your remote, that's when surfing got really speedy. I can remember mashing these coloured buttons for ages just to see where the coloured links at the bottom of the screen would take me. Yeah, my childhood wasn't very enriched. Although I couldn't properly articulate the way that teletext pages were transmitted for this video, I asked the only person I know who's more nerdy than me to explain it for you guys.
Teletext. It's a marvellous invention. It allows so much information to be at your fingertips in literally seconds. But how does it work? Your television set is filled with huge, moving images. So where does the teletext data fit in? Well, thankfully, the signal pushed out for your television contains something called a vertical blank.
Dynamic industry.
This is the point at which the electron beam finishes its sweep of the screen and travels from the bottom back up to the top. In this interval, no image data is drawn, so it can be packed full of data. If fitted with a teletext decoder, your television can interpret this data and display it on screen as teletext. Note, this is a one-way operation. You can't send data back to the TV antenna. Instead, pages are broadcast at a rate of approximately 15 per second. If you're searching for page 103, your TV waits for the data from that page to be broadcast before displaying it for you in full, incredible, dazzling colour. That's why teletext is so slow. And that's why I'm coming to your house.
Coming to your house. Coming to your house. Dynamic industry.
Thank you, Nostalgia Nerd. That was very, concerning. Squishes, can you make sure the doors and windows are locked? It wasn't just news you could access on here. There would be all sorts of facts and figures, TV schedules, you could book holidays and see massive deals. Even stuff like angling tips were on there. You could also find yourself a date if you really wanted. I imagine going on teletext to find a date. How desperate can you be? Anyway, I just need to check my Tinder. Sexual frustration. That's a hard swipe right. Fedoras, probably a left. Dying alone surrounded by cats, super like. One regular feature of the Teletext service throughout the entirety of its analogue run was regular sections and sort of magazines. A lot of UK viewers probably remember the regular section Bamboozle, a quiz game that was something I played a lot before I got a game console. This was hosted, if you like, by this yellow dude and occasionally members of his family. You'd use those fast text keys on your remote I mentioned earlier, which were these 4 coloured buttons, to answer the questions. Bamboozle was clearly very popular as it's had a bit of a revival in recent years. There was a kids section on Channel 4 that I used to frequent quite a lot. This was hosted by Turner the Worm and his collection of weird insect friends, including Glub the Slug and Goldblum, the fly mosquito thing.
Did you know that scientifically worms are not considered to be insects? Nam 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 nam.
You could send in your artwork to get displayed in the art corner, which is a bit weird when you think about it because kids would be sending in their pen and pencil doodles on paper. To get them onto Teletext, artist and writer Paul Rose would have to copy the drawings in Teletext graphics. Paul Rose was also responsible for the artwork in the script of the Turner the Worm comic, a bizarre episodic series starring the titular character and usually his best friend Glug the Slug. A lot of them were bizarre, very tongue-in-cheek and silly, but as a kid I did enjoy them. Speaking of Mr. Rose, still a very young man of 21 when he started working on all this moves us on rather smoothly over to Digitiser. You probably know him there as Mr. Biffo. In 1993, young Paul Rose, then mostly just a graphical designer for the Teletext service, approached his bosses with a pitch for a gaming magazine on the platform. Prior to that, there was a page or two on gaming run by Mr. Tim Moore. The pitch was to expand this into its own section. He got sign-off and Digitiser was born. In an effort to mask their real names as was cool at the time, Paul Rose and Tim Moore went by Mr. Biffo and Mr. Hares respectively. At the time, Digitiser did end up being a highly respected source of gaming reviews and information, but anybody who used to read it will know that alongside the gaming content there was a lot of just being damn weird. I mean, really weird. I am delighted to say that Mr. Biffo himself was happy to talk to me for this video, so let's just see if we can get through to him.
Idea at the back of my head, like it would be really cool to kind of write a teletext magazine. I used to use Teletext Oracle as it was then all the time. But when I worked at Teletext, it was purely, I was there as a graphics person, and they were looking for ideas for sections, and I'd suggested to the editor, oh, you should do a games magazine. And they'd already got this other guy called Tim Moore, who was writing kind of 1 page a day of games reviews. And I said, no, you need more than this. You need like a whole section.
Soon enough, the daring publication would amass a huge following. It would become one of the most popular magazines on the Teletext service, putting in something like 1.5 million views a month. This was a big. For the most part, Digitiser concerned itself with contemporary video games. This would be a great source for some game reviews. At its peak, a new one was being published every day. What was so refreshing about them was that Mr. Biffo and Mr. Hares did not mince their words. If they thought a game was crap, they would say so, even though the game was presumably sent with great aplomb and all sorts of PR goodies for free.
There were loads of times that we just slagged stuff off. The PR people would ring up and complain about it. It happened quite frequently. Famously managed to upset Sony PR guy. It was just as the PlayStation came out, and of course Wipeout. Everyone was talking about it, and we couldn't get hold of this bloody PR guy to get a copy of Wipeout. The guy was just ignoring us. We eventually just had enough of it, and we put something up on air saying, calling him out by name and saying it was bad PR to ignore us like this. And the guy freaked out within 10 minutes. Oh God, he saw that. Yeah, then we got the copy of Wipeout the next day.
The reviews themselves would often be full of innuendos and weird jokes. Tekken 2 controls so smoothly it's like sliding a hot lens through a chocolate femur. What, I haven't used a hot lens through a chocolate femur before. I have. I do it every day. There would also be game charts listed for all the current platforms, industry news and some previews of the best upcoming games. One of my favourite parts was the letters pages. In between the readers submitted gaming overviews and requests, there would always be at least one letter that Mr. Biffo and Mr. Hares responded to like total dicks.
about the guy who claims to have installed a 24x CD-ROM to his PlayStation. I do not believe he managed to do this. Firstly, the 24x is a completely different technology to shine the layers on the disc. Secondly, the drive takes time to reach working speed, so during this time gameplay would stop.
This is very boring. Can we stop it?
The PS is supposedly better than Saturn because of its polygon engine. When Saturn runs as H2s in parallel using its VDP2, it makes PS's 3D look quite silly.
What an awful letter.
As with a lot of readers, I'm fed up with the constant insults at the people who write in. You hide behind characters like the Man and Fatso when you're probably just spotty 16-year-olds fresh off the YTS scheme. Show yourself, cowards.
Up yours, fat boy.
I actually have a psychological condition. I'm sick, so very sick in the head.
In some ways, it was the weird teletext characters that made Digitiser so memorable. There was the man with a long chin, later named just the man. He would have a diary where he would be trying a brand new job, usually each week. Although this bit rarely had much to do with video games, it was really quite funny. The man's daddy, my favourite character, this weird elephant thing that wanted to be a comedian, he had a jokes page on which he would proudly show off the weird nonsensical jokes that he'd made up. Question: 2 donkeys go into a pub. When they get in, what do they order? Answer: chicken. That's excellent. What? Fat Sal was a pig who would have a full-on rant about whatever game or console was knocking around at the time, and always started said rant with an outlandish insult.
The views of Fatso do not strictly coincide with Digitiser's own.
Chart Cat was this weird bloke with a cat mask who hosted the gaming charts. Gossy the dog was the character running the gaming gossip page. BW was kinda creepy, he freaked me out even when I was little. He was supposed to be some kind of weird parody of Bambaboozler from the Bamboozle page. He was naked, quite a lot. Creepy.
The characters, they're a result of me being the graphics guy. I would often kind of pad out pages with a picture of something weird. Yeah, that started because we needed a way to encourage people to write letters. So we had a graphic of this guy with a long chin, and we stuck him at the end of our letters page. This is the man. If you write into us, we'll send you something from his secret pocket. That kind of just went a bit mad. It was people were started kind of going, who is he? What's he all about? You know, who is he? And he kind of became our mascot. That evolved into him having his sort of man's diary, as it ended up being called. And then we just sort of spread out from there. And we realised that having these characters, it gave us the thing that we were missing, which was a visual component. We have ridiculous characters and bizarre humour, and we were able to offer something that the magazines couldn't do.
Do you like breaded foodstuffs? But you don't like that awkward conversation with the HR department every week? Then you need Joujons. Joujons are 36% less likely to sexually harass you in your place of employment, according to a test sample of 20 women in one office in one part of London.
This is all I've ever wanted! Apart from equal pay for equal work.
Haha, no! You just get the Joujons.
Oh, what the?
Right through the front door. I'll throw them at your house.
The Digitiser magazine caused some serious ripples in the industry at the time, not least in part because both Mr. Biffo and Mr. Hares were utterly unapologetic in ruffling other publications' feathers. A standard part of the magazine was to poke fun at the official game console magazines out at the time. Another frequent feature was just general hatred towards the Amiga, which obviously Amiga fans didn't take too kindly.
You know, we had nothing against the Amiga. I mean, the thing had been out by the time that we launched for years or something like that. We wanted to cover consoles. You know, kind of home computers felt a bit like the past. I mean, pretty much from day one, once they realised that we weren't covering the Amiga owners just wrote in and just didn't stop. It just was like an absolute tsunami of complaints and people ringing up like angry on the phone. And then they would write to Ofcom to complain about us, and there were petitions online, and it was just chaos. You know, with kind of dozens of letters every single day. You know, I mean, there'd have probably been more if there had been email at the time. I mean, these were people who actually could be bothered to put pen to paper and stick a stamp on an envelope. So, you know, God knows how many more that were out there that hated us. I mean, like, it just didn't up. It was insane.
Imagine getting that angry about someone bad-mouthing your favourite console. Although I do keep this knife here in case anyone comes round bad-mouthing the ZX Spectrum. Which would make more sense if I ever actually had anyone come round. This joke doesn't make any sense, and now I just feel really sad. Whoa, you didn't see anything, that was nothing. Another thing you should know incidentally about Teletext is there used to be a reveal button on your remote. When prompted, you could press it to see something on the slide that was previously hidden. Digitiser liked to use this reveal feature quite a lot. This tended to be where really rude images and jokes were hidden. At their peak, both Mr. Biffo and Mr. Hares were doing the kind of stuff in the office which should really have got them fired on the spot. According to Mr. Biffo's blog, they would do stuff like use the internal postage system to mail dirty plates through the building, or phone other colleagues and play them the sound effects from the Mega Drive version of The Jungle Book.
Yeah, we were terrible. People hated us in the office. And for good reason. But I sort of look back on it now and go, my God, how were we not fired? I mean, just little things. I remember we used to sit opposite the guy who did Bamboozle. But he was quite straight-laced. I mean, lovely guy, but quite serious. One day, I don't know where we got it from, we had a tennis racket and there was a box underneath our desk. Tim and I used to sit with our backs to one another, and all day we basically just took it in turns to pick up the tennis racket and just whack this box really loudly and then just carry on as if nothing had happened. And I just remember the Bamboozle guy just like sitting there kind of not quite working up the courage to say, can you stop doing that? And just sort of huffing increasingly loudly as the day kind of wore on.
While obviously that is frigging hilarious, anybody who works in an office nowadays will know that that kind of behaviour is generally kind of frowned upon.
Octav1us!
Yep.
Why is my office filled with goojons? Where did you even get in that size? You're fired!
Yeah, that was certainly worth the court case, and the fine, and the being banned from central London. Again. In 1994, it all came to a head when Mr. Hares was fired after a journalist complained about a rumour published in the magazine. This would be the start of the end, kind of, but Digitiser did keep going until 2003. Famously, or infamously, Mr. Biffo made sure his goodbye letter included his own brand of gross-out humour. Oh, it's fine. This is just one of my childhood memories being torn to pieces. No biggie. It turned out the worm was a penis all along. But how did he go and get about and have friends and talk? Was he a penis that can talk?
The whole thing's a bit weird because it's like, I don't really understand why I did it. I suppose I figured they were going to say no to it, obviously, because of what it obviously is. And it won't matter because I've already quit by that point. You know, I don't want to warp any impressionable minds. It's really important to me. So I kind of look back on it and go, what the hell was I thinking? It's like really disgusting. And I don't know why I did it, but, you know, I did it. And unfortunately, that's the image that I will probably take to my grave.
Teletext itself would soldier on until 2009, when the full digital switchover rendered it inaccessible. Which is kind of sad, really. But not to fear, the oddness of Digitiser would be revived in 2014, thankfully, with the website Digitiser 2000, just in case you were missing Mr. Biffo's gaming-related humour. I wonder what happened to Turner after that really horrific final image we had of him. So, what is he back again? No, wait.
Many years have passed, and rather than teletext, we now have something called the Internet. Now, the Internet allows for the existence of something called the World Wide Web, and through the World Wide Web, we can access websites. Unlike teletext, the Internet allows you to both send and receive data from these websites, making for a quicker and more sociable experience. Unless you're still using dial-up, that is. Dial-up is bad. You've been a bad boy.
A very bad boy.
Hello, YouTube support.
Hey, I think there's a really mental, much more popular YouTuber in my flat.
If you're not Logan Paul, we don't give a f*** about you.
In 2017, Found Footage was a sort of Digitiser-related project created by the man himself, Mr. Biffo. I'm not sure what I was expecting from it, but safe to say I wasn't expecting, this. Any hardcore Digitiser fans probably watched Found Footage, but if you're not, then you might kind of get traumatized.
I'm Gujan John, owner of Gujan John's Gujan Poupon Delivery Service.
I like how there are a few references to the original Digitiser magazine in Found Footage, like the mad hatred Mr. Biffo apparently had for the Amiga.
What is that? Is that a bone with hair on it?
Oh my god, I see what it is! Alright, well, Found Footage was a bit of a weird gross out. Oh, come on, it can't possibly get any worse than Amiga Ballsack, though.
Does the thought of interdimensional travel make you anxious? At last, there is a solution. The new Xenox Whimsy Rogers is genetically engineered to be a faithful friend through Brannigan's Vortex and beyond. Whimsy Rogers isn't just a constant companion.
Why?
It will
You must eat a handful of my poo.
Oh, there's nothing left to come out, it's just air. For me, one of the funniest things was the awkward humour, that weird burst of laughter that always comes after a long, awkward silence. It's good for that, if you like that. Mate, what the hell? I just threw up 4 days worth of Pop-Tarts.
Even if you don't call, I'm still coming over. I will spray my poupon through your vents. I will pour my poupon into your pond, your pool, your bath. I will even aim a handful of poupon at your face.
Now, in my long and rambling way, I've finally come to the whole point of this video. And that's to tell you that this year there are big plans to make a TV show version of the Digitiser magazine. A kind of Games Master-esque show presented by the one and only Mr. Biffo. And I'm gonna be in it. Oh, and a bunch of other people like Ashens and Guru Larry, Slopes Game Room, and Nostalgia Nerd, you know. The idea is to take everything that was great, weird and wonderful about the well-beloved Teletext magazine and bring it to the screen.
Do you yearn for the days of proper gaming TV shows that you actually cared about?
By the way, I've also been assured by Mr. Paul Rose himself that the Digitiser show will not be like Found Footage, so put those sick buckets away. Oh, thank God. Oh, hey, guys. Yeah, I'm not gonna need them anymore.
Oh, what? Fine, I'll go and find someone who's watching a Logan Paul video.
The Digitiser show is going to be funded on Kickstarter. I'll put a link to it in the description. I am one of the many people passionate about Digitiser, and I hope that you are, and you'll check it out and maybe even spread the word. Everyone behind this wants to create something fantastic, and that can't be done without its fans. So please do check out the Kickstarter, and if you want to keep updated on what's going on, then have a look at the Digitiser 2000 website. And I really hope that you watch the show when it's done.
Hello?
Hello? Oh my God, you're actually here!
I've got Zhuzhans. Take my Zhuzhans.
It's pronounced Gujan.
Zhuzhans.
Stop it! Stop it!
Zhuzhans.
Ah! Ah!
I won't take no for an answer.